Hi, You Can Heal family. Welcome back to the Old Testament reading of 1 Samuel. We're using our open Bible. Yeah, it's falling apart. I know. It's the New Living Translation. And today we are in 1 Samuel chapter 23. If this is your first time joining me, my name's Shena and I'm glad you're here. We're reading the Bible together. You get to listen to what thoughts come to my mind as I'm reading, and if the Lord drops anything in my spirit as well, I'll go on and share that. Otherwise, just sit back and listen to the word. It's been pretty interesting so far. David, is on the run, and now we're looking at David smites the Philistines. Oh, I'm trying to figure out. Oh, it's a little jewel. Look how big my hand just looked when I moved that. Yikes. Okay, anyways, don't mind me. 1 Samuel chapter 23. One day, news came to David that the Philistines were at Keilah, stealing grain from the threshing floors. David asked the Lord, "Should I go and attack them?" "Yes, go and save Keilah," the Lord told him. But David's men said, "We're afraid, even here in Judah. We certainly don't want to go to," I don't know if I'm saying this right, Keilah, Keilah, to fight the whole Philistine army. So David asked the Lord again, and again the Lord replied, "Go down to Keilah." I think I've said it 3 times, 3 different ways, so just forgive me, okay? So David and his men went to Keilah. They slaughtered the Philistines and took all their livestock and rescued the people of Keilah. Abiathar, the priest, went to Keilah with David, taking the ephod with him to get answers for David from the Lord. Now remember, the ephod's pretty important. Saul soon learned that David was at Keilah. "Good," he explained. "We've got him now." He's not going to let it go. God had handed him over to me, for he has trapped himself in a walled city. So Saul mobilized his entire army to march to Keilah and attack David and his men. But David learned of Saul's plan and told Abiathar the priest to bring the ephod and ask the Lord what he should do. And David prayed, "O Lord God of Israel, I have heard that Saul is planning to come and destroy Keilah because I am here. Will the men of Keilah surrender me to him?" And the Lord, no, and when Saul, sorry, okay. Where did I leave off? Oh Lord, okay, David's prayer. "O Lord God of Israel, I have heard that Saul is planning to come and destroy Keilah because I'm here. Will the men of Keilah surrender me to him? And will Saul actually come as I have heard? O Lord God of Israel, please tell me." Now listen, this is something. This prayer is very specific. So just a side note, when you say your prayers, let's get specific. I mean, David's asking some specific questions like, what's going to happen? And the Lord said he will come. Now look that. Now sometimes our prayers do not get answered that fast, or our questions. But go ahead and ask them. Again, David asked, "Will these men of Keilah really betray me and my men to Saul?" And the Lord replied, "Yes, they will betray you." Saul chases David. So David and his men, in verse 13, about 600 of them now, left Keilah and began roaming the countryside. Word soon reached Saul that David had escaped, so he didn't go to Keilah after all. David now stayed in the strongholds of the wilderness and in the hill country of Ziph. Saul hunted him day after day, but God didn't let him be found. And I believe there's a lot of Psalms written about, this adventure with David running and being on the run. It says in verse 15, "One day near Horesh, David received the news that Saul was on his way to Ziph to search for him and kill him. Jonathan, his BFF, went to find David and encouraged him to stay strong in his faith in God. 'Don't be afraid,' Jonathan reassured him. 'My father will never find you. You're going to be the king of Israel, and I will be next to you, as my father is well aware.' So the two of them renewed their covenant of friendship before the Lord. Then Jonathan returned home, while David stayed at Horesh." Now it's interesting how easily Jonathan found David, but his dad couldn't. Verse 19. But now the men of Ziph went to Saul in Gibeah and betrayed David to him. We know where David's hiding, they said. He is in the strongholds of Parash on the hill of Hakilah, which is in the southern part of Jeshimon. Come down whenever you're ready, O king, and we will catch him and hand him over to you. The Lord bless you, Saul said. At last, someone is concerned about me. Oh, Saul, really? Woe is me, right? No one cares about Saul. Everybody's protecting David. And he's like whining. Someone's finally concerned about me. Go and check again to be sure of where he is staying and who has seen him there. For I know that this is very crafty. Discover his hiding place and come back with a more definite report. Then I'll go with you. And if he is in the area at all, I'll track him down, even if I have to search every hiding place in Judah. So the men of Ziph returned home ahead of Saul. Meanwhile, David and his men had moved into the wilderness of Maon in the Arabah Valley, south of Jeshimon. When David heard that Saul and his men were searching for him, now, okay, I have to stop. Jeshimon, doesn't that sound like a fancy French word or something? Or like a really expensive food? Jeshimon. That's what went in my head. Okay? It has nothing to do with the word. It's just, I thought of it the first time I read it. And then Jeshimon. But it's a place of the Arabah Valley, south of Jeshimon. Verse 25. Please forgive me. When David heard that Saul and his men were searching for him, he went even farther into the wilderness to the great rock, and he remained there in the wilderness of Maon. But Saul kept after him. He and David were now on opposite sides of a mountain. Just as Saul and his men began to close in on David and his men, an urgent message reached Saul that the Philistines were raiding Israel again. So Saul quit the chase and returned to fight the Philistines. Ever since that time, the place where David was camped has been called the Rock of Escape. David then went to live in the strongholds of En-Gedi. Wow. David was spared. Oh no, I just said the word spared, and look, tomorrow David spares Saul's life. That's an interesting title. After all this hunting Saul's doing, David's going to spare his life. So that's our reading for today. I hope that you enjoyed my company, because I'm so thankful that you're on the other end reading along with me. I trust that you're going to have a great weekend. It should be Saturday if you're following along daily, or whatever day it is. Enjoy it. And I'll be back tomorrow. Remember, it's Friday for me, and this will come out on Saturday, but we're probably going to go live Saturday night and continue on with our story. Okay, it looks like we might read 2 chapters together. We'll see, but we'll be live this weekend. Okay, so look out for that, and we'll talk soon. Always remember, true healing begins with self-love. Why? Because God is love, and He lives on the inside of you. We'll talk soon. But now, see, I just hurt my wrist. I got to go to urgent care. If you wanted to know, my wrist has been bothering me, and when I held my hand that way, I could feel it. Anyways, you can heal, family. I'm not going to edit that out. We're just going to roll with it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.